There is no good ending to the flame chest journey. On one hand, Trailblazer must let go of their Chrysos Heir companions if they wish to defeat Irontomb. On the other, they could hold on to everyone and everything, and the remembrance will preserve it all, not letting Irontomb break free but also freezing everything else in time, bringing about the fourth kind of finality to the cosmos. These are the only two possibilities that Elio foresaw happening to the Express Crew's trailblazing journey and Amphoreus, and neither sounds good. Blade and Silverwolf sounded genuinely worried for the crew's safety. Heck, Kafka would have been panicking then if she could feel fear. So they are more in favor of the first outcome. Kafka even said that the road ahead, the journey after Amphoreus, were already reflected in Elio's eyes. So it is likely that the second possibility will never happen. And I think I know why they would go with the first option in the end. In fact, this ending might have been hinted at since the beginning, from the very first Golden Epic trailer. Seeing as this will be the last of them, you might want to consider completing your Chrysos Heirs collection with some help from today's sponsor, LD Shop is a top-up service where you can make in-game purchases at a discount. You can get supply passes, honoric shards, and even guarantee bundles so that you know you'll have enough tickets to get your favorite characters and light cones despite your terrible luck. The top-up process is super simple. To make a purchase, all you need to provide is your game server and your ID. Then your top-up will be sent to you in no time. LD Shop has been used by thousands of people, and you only need to look at the reviews to see how safe and reliable the service is. The double top-up bonus also works with purchases via LD Shop. So if you still have that, why not top up there and get your bonus for cheaper? Even better, after spending over $80 in a month, you can claim a free supply pass. So if you're a spending player and planning to get Cyrene or the other returning Chrysos Heirs, use my link in the description below to make your first purchase to get 15% and 5% off coupons and save up to $50. Thank you LD Shop for sponsoring this video. Now let's go back to the past.
The flame chase is a journey of constant loss, among which even life itself holds little value.
We have heard this saying throughout our journey in Amphoreus. The Chrysos Heirs have always been ready to sacrifice themselves for the flame chase journey. They would do anything as long as the miracle of Genesis could be realized, laying down their lives so the next Chrysos Heir could continue to chase the flame, holding up pillars of the world until the last of them could initiate Era Nova. While the promised new tomorrow has always been nothing but a lie, the irony is that the experiment Xandar has been nurturing inside the scepter has taught these strings of numbers to love their simulated world and hate the gods. Not all gods, yes, but the mad ones, the one who showed no love for humanity. So when Xandar told Kaslana and Cyrene, the last two standing Chrysos Heirs at the end of the world, that they had always meant to be part of the burning fire of the destruction, they declined. Much like the mad gods they had slain along the journey, they refused to be puppets of the god from beyond the sky who only sought to destroy. This was how the eternal recurrence happened. The original Kaslana, who chose to return to the cycle, offered himself to be the bearer of all the core flames to ensure that it would not fit into Irontomb's deep learning data. It was a futile resistance against the destruction. Regardless of what he did, the ending would always be the same, and it was a lonely one because he was the only one who could reset time thanks to Cyrene's sacrifice. But I bet if given the chance, the other Chrysos Heirs would have helped him. Like, I remember Anaxa expressing his regret for not being able to do so in one of the ERs. So now that they're all here, all 12 of them, finally not separated by generation and death, plus Cyrene whose memories have been restored in the Great Tomb, I imagine they would not hesitate to lay down their lives if that is what it takes to stop the Iron Tomb. And as crazy as it was, Everknight's plan to burn Irontomb's memories, which include memories of the Chrysos Heirs, is actually the more plausible solution here. I mean, think about it. The cyclical nature of Amphoreus is what allows Irontomb to evolve. The core flames are what connect the Chrysos Heirs from one cycle to the other. The Chrysos Heirs that we know are attached to these core flames. They are part of Irontomb. To destroy Irontomb means destroying the Chrysos Heirs too. What weighs more than Amphoreus' fate? Ornyx asked. Well, the correct answer before was memories. Fully, who Cyrene thought would bring salvation to Amphoreus, cares more about the infinite memories that she could collect for them, leaving Amphoreus stuck in an eternal cycle rather than saving the world. But knowing what's at stake here, the entire universe versus one simulated world, I think we all know what choice the Chrysos heirs would make. What weighs more than Amphoreus' fate? It is the continuation of the entire universe.
Of course, this will be a romantic story like none that has come before. You think so too, right?
In one alternate timeline where the crew never came to Amphoreus, Iron Tomb would have broken free. Although, unlike what Xandar had expected to happen, the Headless Titan connecting to Nous to self-coronate, the Head Iron Tombs would cease, would have been Herda's. The worst possible outcome of that timeline is Herda fusing with Iron Tomb, becoming the third Emperor Rupert and starting the third Mechanical Emperor's War. A genius's fall is the worst outcome in that timeline, but not Nous's. In fact, the third Mechanical Emperor's War would have been done in the name of erudition. Nous would have used Herda-infused Iron Tomb as their pawn in the war among the Eons. Nous has always known about Amphoreus, and based on their calculation, Iron Tomb breaking free would have been in their favor. And the irony is that, in his attempt to defy his creation, Xandar has been doing everything that he's doing in Amphoreus according to Nous's calculation, allowing the possibility of a third Rupert to rise, for he is too one of Nous's puppets. So, as much as I hate to admit it, Xandar is right. Nous is dangerous, and every genius they have gazed at is nothing but a pawn to them. They gazed at the first two Ruperts, invited them to the Genius Society, and nudged them down the path that led to the Mechanical Emperor's Wars. While both wars were put to an end, those wars led to the ascension of Nanook, whom then became the final ingredient to complete Amphoreus' scepter. The erudition has everything figured out, and we are only now witnessing just how far ahead they have calculated their moves. But Amphoreus will be different. That question that Herda asked in the Golden Epic trailer?
Most heroes' journeys in the universe are just dice tosses they threw on a whim. Will your answer be any different, Amphoreus?
And Cyrene answering with, why yes, this would be a romantic story like none that had come before, is a testament to their resistance. They will not be a pawn to the Eons, not to the destruction, not to the remembrance, not to the erudition. Kaslana has defied the destruction 33 million times over. Cyrene's white band of light has been defying the remembrance. Now, all of the Chrysos heirs, born from the erudition's divine corpus, will defy their third eon too. However, it is not enough knowing that the Chrysos heirs would lay down their lives for the universe. It is important that Trailblazer knows why they must let go of these heroes.
Remember to take a deep breath, partner. Then, walk towards tomorrow.
In the other possibility, the remembrance would be used to preserve the memory of everything. Everything would be frozen in time, including the Iron Tomb. That way, Iron Tomb would never break free. However, I think the ripples of this act would be so strong that it would also affect the cosmos. Everything would be frozen in time, bringing forth a fourth kind of finality. This kind of outcome is something that the original Cyrene and Kaslana was trying to avoid. They didn't want to complete the final Era Nova because they didn't want Iron Tomb to destroy the cosmos. Destruction is only one of the four paths that would lead to finality. The others are nihility and harmony, but the fourth path has yet to fully reveal itself, Kafka said. Which could mean that we've known the path, but what we know of it is not the entire truth of this path. Or the fourth path is one that is in the making, and that the whole point of the crew going to Amphoreus is not only to stop Iron Tomb, but also to prevent the fourth path from fully manifesting. Knowing this, I don't think Cyrene would ever let that happen. The remembrance that she thought would bring salvation to the world would then be no different than the destruction. There's no way she would go through with that option.
On the road to defy the destruction, we must become used to loss.
The Chrysos heirs have known this. The Flamechest journey is a journey of constant loss, and if Amphoreus is a miniature of the cosmos made to simulate the path, eons, and their past riders, then the journey to defy the destruction is one that reflects the Trailblazer's destined path where,
In the best and the worst cases, you will eventually have to face Nanook, the destruction.
I think this is the other thing that Trailblazer must take away from Amphoreus. While they and Dunhung had fought Evernight so that they could save March and come back home together, insisting that no one would get left behind, the future might not be so kind. Trailblazer must learn how to let go of their precious companions because the road to fight Nanook will be filled with these losses. Losing the Chrysos heirs would be the first loss they have to experience, but it surely won't be the last.